The secret ingredient to the best chicken stew is what I like to call onion smoothie. Just stay with me, okay? So you just need about 2 to 3 medium-sized onions. If you have large onions, you can just use 1 or 2 depending on the quantity of stew that you are making. You're going to peel that, wash that, and then cut it into quarters. You're going to blend this until it is smooth, like a smoothie basically. You're going to add in some water and then blend this until you have a smoothie. That is going to be the game changer here, guys. Trust me. Just watch this video to the end so that you can see how to use this. So set this aside. We're going to be needing 1 garlic bulb, 2 medium ginger roots, dry thyme and curry powder, table salt, chicken bouillon cubes, vegetable oil, blended tomato and pepper mix. If you have fresh tomatoes and pepper that you just want to blend, that is fine. In my family, we do buy our peppers and tomatoes in bulk, so we just like blend everything and then cook it down to lose all the water. That is why mine is looking very thick like this, because it's already pre-cooked, and then we store it in our freezer. But if you don't have this way, it's okay. You can still just blend straight from your blender and then use it to make the stew the same way that I'll be showing you how to in this video. And then of course the star of the show, some chicken. I used 1 kilo of chicken for this recipe, and this is soft chicken, also called fryers, but you can use whatever kind of chicken you have at your disposal. So the first thing we're going to do is to pound our ginger and our garlic until we have this, and then we're going to boil our chicken so we can get some chicken stock. So into your pot, add your washed chicken. For the beginners, we wash our chicken with just water, okay? We literally just rinse off the blood and make sure that it's clean. And then we are going to add that into our pot of water, and we are going to allow this to cook. But before we do that, we are going to add in the rest of our ingredients, okay? So next we are going to go in with some chopped onions, and then our garlic and ginger we pounded earlier, our chicken bouillon cubes. I used 5 chicken bouillon cubes, some table salt, about half a tablespoon. Add in your dry thyme and curry powder as well, about half a tablespoon each, and then we're just going to give this a good mix and allow this to cook. Now I mentioned earlier that the kind of chicken I used is called fryers, or like broilers, you know, soft chicken, meaning that it doesn't take long to get cooked. As a matter of fact, the way the chicken is, you can just season it maybe with your powdered seasoning and grill it straight away, or you know, fry it straight away, and it would be good. Like, it would be cooked, it would be nice. However, because I'm making stew, we need our chicken stock, and so you can just boil this for a few minutes, not because you're trying to make the chicken soft, but because you're trying to extract that flavor so that we can have a chicken stock for our stew. So what we are going to do is, we are not going to allow this to cook until the water completely dries out, or you know, we're not even going to put in too much water. You're just going to put enough water to reach the level of the chicken, because once it starts cooking, the chicken will still release its juices, which would ultimately increase the quantity of the water in the pot. So you just want to cook it enough for it to be infused by the seasoning, and then for it to release its flavors. If you're using hard chicken, that is the local chicken here, you're going to have to let this boil for a couple of minutes until your chicken is tender, okay? But never allow it to cook until it's dry, because we need our stock. At this point, I'm taking my chicken out because this is what I'm looking for, and then I'm going to take that out and fry it, shallow frying in a pan. You can use a frying pan for this really, but for me, I decided to use the same pots that I'll be using to make my stew. So I just added in some vegetable oil, allowed that to heat up, and then I started frying my chicken. So you're going to fry this until it is nicely browned, like golden brown. Again, because I am using soft chicken for this stew, I fried it to be really brown. You can fry your chicken to not be this brown, just like perfect light golden brown. But the reason why I fried mine to like be really brown is because it's soft chicken and it's a stew that I'm making. You don't want a situation whereby the chicken scatters in the stew and things like that. If you're using the local chicken, you can just fry this till it's like light golden brown and you're good to go. But if you're using soft chicken like I did, I advise that you fry this till it's brown like this. Okay, this way your chicken would last longer in your stew. No matter how much quantity of stew you're making, the chicken will not scatter in that stew. It will hold its shape. Once you notice that the first side is turning brown already, you're going to flip it to the other side and allow the other side to fry till it's brown as well. Make sure you keep your eye on this, because the moment you flip it, the other side doesn't take so much time to get browned. Okay, so we're going to fry this, and then once it's browned, we're going to take this out and set this aside for later. The reason why I chose to fry the chicken in the pot I'll be using to make the stew is because we are going to be using this oil to make our stew. I always talk about building flavors in our cooking in all my cooking videos. Okay, using this oil is your go-to for your chicken stew. You can use a strainer to take out all the pieces of garlic and ginger and onions that have fried in the oil if you do not want to see those particles in your stew. And then you're just going to go in with your blended tomato and pepper mix. Also note that you are to reduce the oil in the pot, especially if maybe you use too much oil to fry your chicken. You don't necessarily have to throw in all that oil into your stew. Okay, I added in my tomato and pepper mix. Again, like I mentioned earlier, it's thick this way because it's already pre-cooked. And so this is the point where we are going to add our secret ingredient, our onion smoothie. This is the game changer for the stew, guys. You can do the same thing for beef stew, turkey stew, just make it this way. I promise you will not make stew differently once you taste this stew. It just does something. I don't even know how to explain what it does, but this is the best way to make your Nigerian stew. Okay, so you're going to mix this in with your pepper and tomato blend, and then you're just going to allow this to cook. If you're using freshly blended peppers and tomatoes and you mix this in, you're allowing it to cook until the oil you added earlier just floats on the surface of the pepper. That's how you know that your pepper is ready. You're going to let it cook until the oil we added earlier is the only thing that is floating on the top. This way it's still not ready. The oil has started floating on the top, but we're still cooking here. It's not ready. Okay, you're going to allow this to cook, and so I'm just going to cover this and let it boil until our oil is the only thing that is floating on the surface of our pepper. At this point, our stew is ready. You can see how the oil is floating on the top. So now we are going to add in our chicken stock. The quantity of chicken stock you add in depends on how thin or thick you want your stew to be. Okay, and also note that you are to strain your chicken stock. Just use your regular strainer that you use to strain your rice and things like that, to strain your chicken stock, so that you take out all the garlic, onions and ginger that we added into the chicken while we were boiling it. Okay, so adding your chicken stock to your preferred consistency of your stew, give this a taste to know if the salt and seasoning cube is okay for you. And if it is not okay, then feel free to go in with a little bit more salt and a little bit more seasoning. Please do this a little bit at a time. You don't just want to go in with multiple cubes of seasoning and then salt. You don't want your stew to be salty. Okay, go in by adding just 1 cube or 2 cubes and then just sprinkling in about a teaspoon of salt and then giving it a taste. You're going to continue doing that and tasting that until you're satisfied with how the stew tastes. Okay, and then you're going to give that a good mix. Allow this to cook for just a couple of minutes. At this point your stew is ready, but you have to let it cook for just a couple of minutes, and then add in your chicken that you fried earlier or whatever protein that you're using, because like I mentioned, you can use the same method to make your beef stew or your turkey stew. So you're going to mix this in and just allow this to simmer for some minutes. You're basically just trying to marinate your fried chicken and also to kind of allow the chicken to cook, and our chicken stew is ready. This is how it was looking after I allowed it to rest a couple of minutes. I had turned off the heat at this point, of course. You guys, this stew is amazing. Growing up, when we do Christmas in the village, every Christmas day we eat white rice and stew, and it was always chicken stew. Okay, the chicken stew was always thick and amazing, and we always had it with white rice, which was the inspiration behind me cooking this meal today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, share this video with your loved ones, leave a like and a comment. Be sure to try this recipe, and I'll see you in my next video. Have a beautiful Christmas.